before they come to Petco. Now, it's time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6 p.m. here today. Jesse Rogers is going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. from ESPN because the trade deadline is exactly 24 hours out. So we're 24 hours out from the trade deadline. The Padres are coming off as good of a road trip as you could possibly ask for. They also make a move that we can get into. Now, you and I and everyone has said this is a great road trip, right? 7-2 trip through Cleveland and Washington and Baltimore. That's as good as you could possibly have, right?
One of the best in franchise history,
no,
John.
That's not according to one person on social media.
We found the one person?
Which is
You're an idiot. You don't know
Michael,
baseball.
Also at Janky14, that is Jenky14, said that we're not Padres. Okay, so Jim tweeted out last night for the wrap-up show, one of the best road trips in franchise history. He replies 24 hours later, franchise history, dude, 55 years holding on by a thread for the wild card. That's clown statement. Do some research on the 84 team.
I actually did, and their longest, or not longest, but I think one of their best road trips was like also 7-2. They had some lengthy road trips in there, John, like very lengthy road trips. And I checked on it.
And nothing was better?
By the way, this one, they won every series. They won 7 in a row during this 9-game road trip. And oh, by the way, thrown a no-hitter there by Dylan Cease, the second in franchise history. Sorry, buddy. The 84 team is definitely remembered as it should be because they went to the World Series and the amazing moment from Garvey in the postseason and everything else along with that. But like this one, it had the chance yesterday to actually be the best in franchise history if they beat the Orioles, which would have secured the most wins on a road trip of this length, correct?
No, highest winning percentage.
That's what I mean.
In a road trip of 9 games or longer. Here's the thing. People get things like he's confused. We didn't say this is the best team in franchise history. We didn't say it's the best season. We didn't say it's the best month. We said it was one of the best road trips. They're not the New York Yankees, by the way. They haven't won 27 World Series. Like a 7-2 trip with your season on the line, and then he got back and forth with us. Well, they're going to lose 90 or 100 games, or call me when they're close to winning the division. Hey, buddy, it's not 1984 anymore. You can win a World Series with 84 wins. Look at the Phillies and the D-backs getting to a World Series each of the last 2 years. So whatever. They're coming home 57 and 51. They added in their bullpen with Jason Adam, who will be here tomorrow to kick off this Padres-Dodgers 2-game series that we'll get into as well. But the road trip was splendid, whether it was the Guardian series, whether it was sweeping the Nationals, even yesterday. So what? So you lose. You go 7-2. You win a series in Baltimore against a team that's at the top of the American League. You can't ask for more than 7-2. You just can't.
They pretty much on this road trip steered the ship in the direction for the remainder of the year, in my opinion. We're not going back and forth. What are they? What are this? What is that? I think what they did is they kind of stabilized. And I know I've said it before, and I still don't fully trust them. But at least now going into the deadline, you have a clear understanding of exactly what you are going to be looking for and what you're going to be doing. There's no questions about anything other than we are going to buy. We are going to go all in even more than we are right now, it feels like. And because you went 7-2, you put yourself in a damn good position going into August, which are the dog days, and you got to play some good baseball. But I mean, it could have been a lot worse, Sean. Even if they went 5-4 on the road trip, that actually probably would have been considered bad because everybody in front of them and everybody around them has been winning a bunch of games.
And this idea that, well, this makes them go further all in. Well, let's see. Because it's a little bit more like 2021 and 2023 at the deadline than 2022. Now he's got 24 hours to work with. Could he add Garrett Crochet? Could he make a splash? I guess it's a possibility. But in 2021, early on in the deadline season, he had an all-star second baseman in Adam Frazier. That was basically the extent of the moves. Went after Scherzer, couldn't land him. In 2023, they were hanging on by a thread. I don't think he knew what he wanted to do, and they basically didn't add. And then there's 2022, where you go out and get Juan Soto. So, yeah, I think the intention may be to go out and make a splash and go all in. But can they do that? You see these deals around baseball today, like this 3-team trade with the Dodgers and the Cardinals and the White Sox. Like, it's hard right now to go out and get good, if not decent to good starting pitching. We're not talking about the Garrett Crochet's or the Tariq Skubals of Detroit who likely won't move. Like, yeah, I think they want to make a move to add starting pitching, but are they going to be able to make a move to add starting pitching without giving up their top prospects?
Yeah, and another thing of the 7-2 road trip, I think this makes Preller even more aggressive or try to be more aggressive. Not saying he wouldn't have been if they didn't go 7-2. Like if they did go 5-4, maybe it's just the same, same as usual. Like nothing changes.
That's what he said yesterday.
Okay. But things change. And I think if they did happen to have a bad road trip, I do think things may have changed a little bit.
Sure.
But the 7-2 road trip is a clear statement from the team to the front office. Like, we're ready. Give us some help here as far as like the pitching staff goes, and believe in us. And I think that's exactly what everybody in the organization right now is doing. Is they believe in this team. They believe in the direction of this team. They like this roster a lot. Schulte, I mean, you listen to him talk about this roster. It's like his favorite baseball team ever assembled, and for good reason. For some things that this team does, which are really good. So going into tomorrow and the rest of today, today's not even close to over yet, and there's already been a bunch of trades. The Dodgers got Michael Kopech, the Cardinals got Fetty and Tommy Pham. We'll see what the Giants and the Diamondbacks do, but going forward now for the next 24 hours until the deadline.
24 hours.
I just have this feeling that he is sitting there trying to go big game hunting. I just feel like it.
Maybe. I mean, I honestly think we'll look back on 2024 and say that there's a possibility the two biggest trades of the year were made by the Padres before the deadline.
True. That is true.
Dylan Cease is the number one pitcher that changed teams in season. There's no close second.
Nope.
The best position player, arguably, to switch teams so far this year is Luis Arraez.
Yeah, 2-time batting champ.
So,
All-star.
like, the idea that, hey, and you agree with this, like, hey, do they believe in this team? All AJ Preller has tried to do from day one is realize where they have deficiencies and how do we get into the postseason. He added an ace in Cease. He added a hit king in Arraez. He's added a high leverage reliever. He has in Jason Adam, who's had a very good 2 or 3 years. He gave up a good amount to go out and get Adam. So I don't know if he needs to do it again, is my point. And I don't know if he's capable of doing it again. Plus, how many big game animals are out there? Garrett Crochet, who's throwing 3 innings every time he pitches right now. Tariq Skubal, who's not going to move in all likelihood. Beyond those two, where would you even turn to say, oh my gosh, he made the splash? He did it. Jack Flaherty's likely going to be off the board, not to San Diego. Like, you're kind of getting down in the pecking order where, to me, it's not screaming you've added Dylan Cease or Luis Arraez based on who's available on the board right now.
My thinking is he's already tried and asked one time for Garrett Crochet.
I think multiple times.
I think that conversation is not going to die until 24 hours from now,
right,
and unless he pulls it off. And another, which it would be kind of interesting, but I consider it big game hunting. He's on the IL. Mason Miller is another guy that, he loves the controllable pieces. And Mason Miller and Garrett Crochet are two guys that are going to be under control for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of circles the wagon back on those guys, along with the Jack Flahertys, even though it's being reported right now the Yankees are potentially close to acquiring Jack Flaherty, and just look out for him to try to make a big time splash. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I just don't think he's sitting there content with going after, no offense, the guys like Cal Quantrill or the other starting pitchers like that have maybe 1 year left on their deals. Like, I'm nothing against Tyler Anderson. He's having a great season, but Tyler Anderson like completely moved the needle for you.
It's not about that though. It's like,
no, and I agree. I agree.
You just gave up 2 of your top 10 prospects for a guy that's going to throw 17 innings over the final 2 months of the season, but could be very valuable for you if you get to the postseason, could help you get there. Like, I would go do what I can do. Like, do you have enough in your system to go big and hold on to Ethan Salas and Leo DeVries? The answer is no. So, and even to go get a starting pitcher, you're going to have to give up good pieces that are in your system that aren't named Ethan Salas and Leo DeVries. So, like, I'm not kicking the Tyler Andersons out of bed. I think I go back to the bullpen if I can bolster there as well. I don't have to, like, I can't fit a square in a circle. I don't have to go Garrett Crochet if it's going to cost me the moon. And Tyler Anderson's available and there for the taking. We've talked about a lot that they don't need a frontline starting pitcher. They have two, at least, in Dylan Cease and Michael King right now. But what they do need is starting pitching to get them to the postseason. So that's I'd probably prefer he was smart here, added another bullpen piece, added a starter in the back of the bullpen, then go crazy big here and mortgage something that doesn't necessarily need to be mortgaged for 2024.
I'm with you, but he's also known to potentially maybe make some reckless decisions just because he does want to win right now, but he also wants to try to have the player he gets back have years of control, and he wants them so bad that he's willing to maybe give up that extra prospect that maybe you're kind of wincing about just a little bit.
Sure.
But at this moment in time, I think everything's on the table. I truly do. I know that the reports are that Ethan Salas and Leo DeVries are completely off limits. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I think Ethan Salas is definitively off limits. Leo DeVries, we'll see. Robbie Snelling, we'll see.
I don't think anyone's saying Robbie Snelling's off limits, right?
No, I haven't heard anybody say that.
We said a couple of weeks ago we'd be shocked if none of the top 5 prospects in the organization moved, and arguably they moved
already won
a couple of them. Yeah, I mean, with Dylan Lesko, I guess, was the guy inside. Homer Bush Jr. was having the much better season.
Dylan Lesko was a top 5 prospect in the organization,
right? And
Homer Bush was top 10.
Yeah, but truthfully, Dylan Lesko was not pitching like a top anything in the organization. But we'll see what happens on the other side. All right, does Joe Musgrove's health impact AJ Preller's thinking inside 24 hours until the trade deadline? We'll hear from Joe Musgrove on the other side. We have Jesse Rogers from ESPN with us to talk the latest related to the Padres at the deadline. He'll join us coming up at 5 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim back with you. Jesse Rogers, ESPN at 5 p.m. We have Luke Bryan tickets to give away. It's a sold-out show. It's coming up August 8th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll give those tickets away in the 4 o'clock hour. We have a great week for you if you're a Padres fan, if you're a sports fan in San Diego, because Jesse Rogers today on the deadline. David J. on the Padres system tomorrow after the deadline. Andy McCullough, who covers the Dodgers for The Athletic, senior writer, will join us for Game 2 of Padres-Dodgers on Wednesday. Sean Lewis, San Diego State head football coach, will join us Wednesday as well. So we're inside 24 hours. Does Joe Musgrove change the calculus? I couldn't believe, we didn't even talk much about this last night, I don't think, on the wrap-up show. I can't believe what Joe Musgrove said yesterday. Let's take a listen to this. This, to me, is like, hey, I'm trying to captain the ship, but I'm not the captain. Like, he's not AJ Preller, but he's making determinations on where he's going to be pitching. Let's take a listen to Joe Musgrove.
I'll get the Mariners.
Okay, cool.
I think it's easier that way to guarantee that I can get, a 20-pitch inning and then another 15 pitches instead of, rehab start where I struggle, defense struggles, or something happens that I'm not able to get through an inning and then, finish up in the bullpen's not really what we're looking for. So Tuesday, midday sometime, something like 2 innings probably.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. 120 would be nice. Yeah, it'd be great. But yeah, so that, and then I think it's kind of AJ's call after that. If he wants to put me in for 3 innings to start, or if he wants me to get one more and then come back at 4 innings. So
I know you said it'd be up to AJ, but ideally, would it be just this one in Arizona and then take it out? Or
I think ideally probably be 2, like 3 and 4. I'd love to be back at 3 innings, but it's not fair to me. It's not fair to them to go out there with, 50 pitches to work with and make a start and have the bullpen cover that. So depends on where we're at, bullpen wise, what the usage has been like, how the starters have done. If we've gotten a lot of length at the starters, maybe they'll let me go and start for 3 innings and just kind of be an opener. But I think that all depends on how this homestand goes. I think the next day I would throw would be the last game of the homestand would be Sunday if I threw Tuesday. So could slot in somewhere there.
That's a possibility for you with how you're feeling. That you
it depends on how I come out of this live. I mean, the live is, the sim game is, a bit more intensity, I guess. But I've thrown a 40-pitch pin. I've done an up-down, so I feel like I'm ready to go. Yeah, we did like a 20-pitch, rest for 10 minutes, and then another, 15. So.
But you would be cool with coming back with. I don't even know if we'll come back in any role.
Yeah.
At one point, I think you wanted to be like up to 5 by the time you
came back.
back.
I would have liked to, but, the whole process of building and getting to the bullpens took a little longer than we thought. So trying to make up for it on the back end and still be smart and not just, rush it just to get back. But it's hard to go out there when you only have 45, 50 pitches to work with. One bad inning kind of the whole day up for everybody. So it's up to AJ. If he's ready and he trusts me to get out there, I feel ready to go. So.
The reason I was surprised by what he said, and I guess he kind of put the ball in AJ's court, but when pressed on it said, I could pitch this homestand on Sunday, that I could pitch Tuesday in the sim game, which is tomorrow in Peoria, and I wouldn't be built up, but I could go something like 3 innings on Sunday. Now, he said that wouldn't be fair necessarily unless they treated me like an opener. The reason it wouldn't be fair is he's asking maybe for the bullpen to cover 6 or 7 innings, but it was almost like he was putting the ball in their court, like, I'm good to go Sunday in the major leagues. I'm like, you haven't pitched in months. You're good to go Sunday in the major leagues?
I said this last week about Joe. I love his competitiveness. I love his fight. I love just when he goes on the mound, you feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
But there also has to be a time and a place. And I think Joe has to kind of have someone stop him from himself it feels like. Because if it were up to Joe, like you heard there, he's in there on Sunday afternoon starting against the Rockies. Final game of the homestand. He's ready to go. That would be kind of crazy after all we've heard is like middle to late August, and all of a sudden now he's pitching Sunday in the big leagues. I'm already very concerned in the first place about Joe. I really already don't have much faith in Joe, and not because I don't feel like Joe's not a competitor or anything. It's just coming off of 2 injuries that had landed you on the IL, both with your shoulder and your arm or your, elbow.
Yeah.
I just don't know if just resting it for a prolonged period of time is going to fix things and make you pitch like the Joe Musgrove we all know and love and have been accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years.
He hasn't pitched since May 26th. Throw a sim game. Like there was no scenario. And correct. I mean, this would almost be like a first in modern baseball. These are just past the time. This would almost be like a first to go sim game to the big leagues of missing 2 months coming off injury. This isn't a Yu Darvish personal matters situation. That alone would be odd. You have to build up. What's the point of spring training? To build up. Players coming into spring training are healthy. They're just building up. 45 pitches, 60 pitches, 75 pitches. So to me, it would be very odd. There's no way the Padres will let this on Sunday. If I'm wrong, I'll be shocked. But it should be a sim game, rehab start for a couple of innings, second rehab start for more innings, start in the big leagues. Yeah. What's feasible is sim, start Sunday in the minors, start the next Friday in the minors, and then start the next Thursday in the majors. But that's 2.5 weeks from now. He's talking about this Sunday. I just don't think that's good for Joe. He got in trouble by trying to come back too fast a year ago. They don't need to do this. They really don't. All these off days, the way the rotation is pitched, I don't know if there's this huge rush to get him back Sunday in the big league.
Yeah, every single Padres fan would love to see Joe out there pitching like we all know he can, helping this team win, being a big part of it down the stretch, hopefully make the postseason and go out there. I mean, what he did in 2022, All-Star year, Game 3 in New York versus the Dodgers, pitched his ass off for that team. You know, the middle of last year before like he got injured and his season ended, he was fantastic. It was him and Blake Snell were an amazing 1-2 punch from the pitching standpoint. And then this year, every time he's been out there, it's been just bad start after bad start after bad start. So no one would love to see him pitch better than Padres fans and us. Just got to be a little realistic here, guys. I mean, do you honestly think that Joe, coming off of these 2 injuries to his arm on the IL for this long, is going to just go out there in a pennant race in August and just be 5 innings shutout every single time?
Yes.
Okay.
70470 started with the word team. Speaking of this pennant race, the Dodgers are here tomorrow. This might be the right time to face LA. We'll explain it on the other side. Plus the latest on a very busy day in Major League Baseball when it comes to the trade deadline. We're less than 24 hours out. Stay with us.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres, they have an off day today. They're coming off of one of their best road trips in franchise history where they went 7-2. They won 7 straight games on the road trip. They won all 3 series. And oh, by the way, Dylan Cease had a no-hitter as well. Trade deadline is tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific time. There has been some trades of note this afternoon. Tommy Pham was traded back to the Cardinals. Eric Fetty was also traded to the Cardinals. And the Dodgers acquired pitcher Michael Kopech. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit America's #1 battery destination. Get the zone, AutoZone.
All right, we have Luke Bryan tickets to give away. We'll do that in the 4 o'clock hour. Jesse Rogers is coming up at 5 p.m. Obviously, all this discussion on an off day about the trade deadline, as it should be. Padres traded for Jason Adam, high leverage reliever. But the Dodgers will be here tomorrow, and you're going to have a couple of really good pitching matchups. Dylan Cease back on the mound for the first time since his no-hitter. You'll see Matt Waldron, Clayton Kershaw supposed to throw in this series, Tyler Glasnow as well for the Dodgers. But the point is this: if there's a time to face LA, maybe now is that time. Mookie Betts has been on the IL. Freddie Freeman, unfortunately, there's something going on personally with Freeman and his family. I think it's some type of emergency situation. He's been out and is expected to be out for the next 2 days, I believe, as well. The Dodgers have been, human-like at times. They've been better in the second half. They're 6.5 games better than the Padres, but you're coming home. You've got Dylan Cease. They don't have a couple of stars, former MVPs, and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, and we'll see what happens over the next 2 days between the Dodgers and the Padres. What are you trying to work on right now? I'm very curious.
I'm trying to
go to a website.
I don't know.
Well, maybe it's your 2016
or maybe
laptop.
it's the stupid internet here. All right.
You think it's the internet?
Probably.
Okay,
I'm trying to.
I just hit ESPN.com. Boom.
Well, here we go. ESPN.
Quarter of a second.
ESPN.com.
Incredible.
All right. There we go.
No, yeah, your computer. Yeah, that worked. What are you trying to get to?
It doesn't matter.
All right.
Woosaw. I was trying to look up Jason Adam.
Yeah, sure. You can do that.
And I was trying to give you what he has done over the last 3 years, which has been really good. Off the top of my head, he's had a sub-3 ERA the last 3 seasons. He had a 1.5 something ERA.
You should go to Baseball Reference.
I tried, but my stupid computer wouldn't let me, John.
Oh, it's flying right now.
Yeah.
What did you say his stats were? I can't wait to hear. What did you say?
I said he's had a sub-3 ERA his last 3 seasons.
That's correct.
2022, he had a sub-2 ERA.
Correct.
And this year, he's had already 4 saves, 8 saves,
4
saves, and he's pitched 47 innings with 47 strikeouts.
No, 50 strikeouts. This is why. This is why the website comes in handy. 47 innings, 47 outings,
47 outings,
50 strikeouts.
That was what I was trying to say. Yeah, 47 innings, 47 outings. He is tough at bat against right-handed pitchers or right-handed batters.
Really tough against right-handed
pitchers. Yeah. It's a solid piece of the back end of your bullpen, but they're going to need more than this.
You don't think this is the missing piece?
That you're going to need more than this. Like you said, he's probably going to have like 17 innings this year for you remaining, or 20 innings, depending.
Innings. Yeah.
And you traded away a pitching prospect, an outfield prospect, and a catching prospect for this guy.
Now, of course, you have him 25 and 26.
Correct.
He's just under control.
And he's very cheap.
Plus, in the postseason, we always talk about it. Starters don't go as deep into games. He could absolutely play a huge role for you potentially in the postseason should you get there. Mm-hmm. He's pitched very well. I mean, it's kind of like
his whip's amazing. It's like under 1.
He's come on. He's come on in the second half of his career. At one point, he was a Padres farmhand, but he's 32, and he dealt with injuries. He missed a couple of years, and he's come back, and he's been. He has elite stuff. He gets more swings and misses than most in baseball. He's got a dynamite changeup. It's a good addition. Nobody's saying it isn't a good addition.
Great.
What people are saying is Steve Price could hurt you eventually, but Dylan Lesko was not pitching here before 2026. I've got news for Padres fans. He wasn't pitching here before 2027. So who do you think? So if he's pitching for the Rays in 2027, is effective. Okay, but you got a guy that can help you in 2024 Homer Bush is in A ball. He's multiple years away from the major leagues. Oh, by the way, you Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson, Maryland, kind of covered.
That's the argument that I think maybe had inside the Padres organization with a guy like Leo DeVries. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But like you said with Dylan Lesko, who got traded yesterday, he's not helping you until minimum 2027, right? Maybe a little next year.
Not next year.
Maybe 26. Maybe he never makes the bigs. He's a guy that never makes the bigs because he doesn't perform well. But Leo DeVries, he's 17 years old. When can you honestly, truthfully expect him to help this team? Jackson Merrill came at 20. So that would mean if Leo DeVries comes up at 21, that's 4 years from now.
They're 27, maybe. Is he 17 or 18?
He started the year 17.
Maybe.
Same thing with Ethan Salas, by the way. Like both of those guys, 17, 18 years old.
Leo DeVries right now is
17. Okay, yeah. So Leo DeVries is 17, and Ethan Salas is 18, and those guys are gonna make impacts for you, like Jackson Merrill's making an impact for you potentially in 3-4 years.
Yeah.
3-4 years,
which is fine if they're the real deal, like Jackson Merrill, you win it out.
Win it out, yeah. Now,
More about Dylan Lesko than we do. And listen, Dylan Lesko's young. He may be good at some point. The guy's done nothing for the Padres. I mean, I hate to put it that plainly. If this was a 20th round pick of the Padres, you'd be like, who's this guy? Maybe not. I mean, he wouldn't have chances to get to the big leagues if he was 20th. They give him money, and he's dealt with injury before. He's still only like 22. But it's worth parting ways to improve the team now. That's the way they do business. The AJ Preller way. And yeah, he's been broke before, but he's lived 10 years. He's lived another day here because he's a 10th year GM. So his ways haven't exactly burned him with the organization. So I'm all for it, truthfully. I do think it's relatively steep for a reliever, but all of a sudden, are we going to say the same thing tomorrow? The Padres lead the Dodgers 3-2 in the 7th inning, and he works a scoreless inning. So the price is right. Scoreless inning. Preserve the lead. So that's what he's got to do. He's got to be the pitcher who's been the last 4 years for this team down the stretch, and that will help. I don't think it's the only move. It's our collective. Like, this is the big move off the 7-2 trip. Trade for Jason Adam. I don't know if they have enough capital to do it, but I think there's more.
You said 3 moves, right?
I said 3. Yeah. You said 2.
I said 2. Probably. I said 2 with the chance of one of those being for multiple. So we'll see. Knowing Preller, he's going to get a deal done tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And I'm going to wake up to a million tweets and people saying, Jim, wake up, you're an idiot. And then you texting me, hey, Jim, I think you missed the biggest trade in franchise history.
Probably.
It was like 7 hours ago to wake up.
Right.
So that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. I don't know if it's going to happen in 5 minutes or tomorrow. Later this afternoon, but there will be another trade. It's just interesting to see who's going to go out and get.
Yeah, and again, if I'm AJ Preller here, I'm not forcing the issue. If I can't get a front-line starter, then go get a back-end starter. If I can't get a back-end starter, go get another leverage reliever. You're not asking starters to work deep in the game. So if you've got 5 or 6 high leverage relievers, then you can count on them a little more than you would count on starting pitching, let alone you're shortening your rotation anyway when you get there. You just got to get there. And that's our concern. And are they really putting their eggs in Joe Musgrove basket? If they are, to me, that's short-sighted and asking for trouble. Better than nothing. If Musgrove can pitch the second half of the year, great. If Darvish can pitch the second half of the year, great. But I just don't think you can count on them. You can count on them pitching. You can't count on them contributing in the second half of the year. That's why everyone says, go ahead, start pitching. That's how I see it. All right. On the other side, we'll continue the conversation, and we'll have Is That Good? The best and worst of the sports weekend. Plus, in the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. This is August 8th. This will be a sold-out show. We have Jesse Rogers from ESPN joining us coming up at 5 p.m. today with the latest on the deadline and the Padres. But Luke Bryan tickets, Is That Good? The best and worst of the sports weekend. all ahead on Jon and Jim. All right, we have Brian tickets to give away. We'll do that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Why am I not on the screen? Yeah.
Here's the stupid audio from this stupid
Hey,
place.
nice back. Okay, so most of you, it's so funny. We do all this stuff for YouTube where 99.9% of the people that consume this
What are you doing?
are on radio. Just so we know that. Anyway, but nice job with the background here, dude. All right, so here's what this show, man.
It's simple. I like it.
We have Trainwreck Radio typically. We have a Trainwreck every day right now. Jesse Rogers, ESPN, will join us coming up at 5 p.m. We have those Luke Bryan tickets to give away coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. I'm sure Jim's ready for this, so let's get to this.
Are you happy?
Is that good?
Wilcox, snapper, Huber, holder, from 29 yards away. Oh, he missed it badly. Kick on the way. Boswell. That's a winner.
The good and bad from the sports weekend.
Why don't you get us started, Jim? Since I know you've been preparing for this segment.
I will. Team USA women's basketball, John.
Oh, yes. I was wondering. I wonder if they beat whomever they played today.
This team is going to roll. And it's still funny to me that Caitlin Clark isn't on it. People were chanting at the game today, like, you were going to need Caitlin Clark to beat Team Japan.
Right. That's why it's not funny, because they're gonna like stumble into this gold medal with whomever they have on the team.
Yeah, they won 102-76. Little effort. They're gonna win the gold, and it's gonna be no one's gonna watch because there's gonna be no competition. 30? And if you had Caitlin Clark on the team, a lot of people were gonna watch that weren't going to because of Caitlin Clark. So it's like, I don't know, Brent, is that good?
It is good.
It's good that they won by 26. All right, Xander Bogaerts, much discussed. Since returning from the IL, has hit .489 in 11 games. He had his first home run since coming off the IL yesterday in a loss. His OPS on base plus slugging percentage is 1,177. Is that good?
It is good.
He is scorching hot.
He is hitting also for power now. He is driving in runs. He is doing everything that you could have asked for and dreamed for Xander Bogaerts to do when he returned.
It's amazing.
You're right. It's been amazing to watch, and he is quickly turning his season around to where he raised his batting average by what, like almost 50. Yeah.
He's raised his OPS by 100. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to hit 49 for 54 games left, but if he hits for the next 54 games, this guy's like a big piece. If he can hit, again, not 489, he hits 319 the next 54 games. He's a big piece in the second half.
Leo DeVries, we talked a lot about him. This is what he has done in his last 20 games in low A, John, right? For this?
Yeah.
He's hit .337 with an 1143 OPS, 8 home runs, and 6 stolen bases. Is that good?
It is good.
Yeah, this guy has a chance to be something. And again, that's A-ball, but he's 17 years of age, and he's really turned it on, and he's very highly sought after, and he's putting it together right now as a 17-year-old in the minors. Kevin Durant, have you heard of him? Former Warrior.
He's pretty good.
I mean, what he did yesterday was really impressive. He hadn't played in a month because he was nursing a calf. He comes off the bench, starts 8 for his first 8, including 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. He finishes 8 of 9 from the floor, scores 21 points. U.S. routs Serbia by 24 or 26 in the Olympic opener for Team USA. Is that good?
It is good.
Dude, I was critical of Team USA in the lead up to this. I didn't realize Kevin Durant was like the best player in the world. He changed everything for them yesterday.
Well, also, sitting Joel Embiid helped. He barely played, which is...
Jason Tatum didn't touch the floor, nor did Tyrese Halliburton, right?
Right. But Tyrese Halliburton...
I know.
I feel like going to the Olympics, that's the one player you were like,
he's not the extra piece if someone gets in foul trouble, if someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jason Tatum will play.
Of course he will. Yeah.
But...
maybe based on matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Because you had to go up against Jokic.
Yep.
And so you needed Embiid to get some minutes.
Of course.
But yeah, what's up?
I think a lot of it is too. You remember the Celtics just finished like a few weeks ago, so all the other players have been, had a little more rest. So they might not be playing Tatum as much.
And Drew Holiday were on the team, so then they played a lot. Finally, John.
Yeah.
We started the show with it today. One of the best road trips in franchise history. Unless you're that
Texter.
moron guy on X.
Right.
They went 7-2 with a 7-game winning streak in there. They won every single series. You had Xander play out of his mind, hit like 500 on the trip, it seemed like. Or no, he did hit close to 500.
Yeah.
And you had a no-hitter thrown by Dylan Cease, the second no-hitter in franchise history. Is that good?
It
Yeah, if you don't say that this was one of the best road trips in franchise history, you're a moron and you don't know baseball. Well, an idiot. Or
Are you calling out
Yes, I
that
am.
one person on social media?
Yes, that one person, because that one person just continues to tweet at us non-freaking stop. And I'm like, should I mute you? Or
No,
is this
it's too fun. It's too fun.
Right, it is pretty fun to listen to see him tweet some incoherent things.
My final is that good as a look ahead. It's to San Diego State fall camp starting this week. Sean Lewis will speak to the media tomorrow. He'll be on Jon and Jim on Wednesday. Fall camp for the Aztecs will start this week. I'll throw a caveat in there. Marquez Cooper, the nation's leading active rusher, who's at San Diego State, was named to the Maxwell list today, which is given to the top college football player of the year. So anyway, the return of San Diego State football is that good. It's good.
Did you say who's joining us on Wednesday, by the way?
I've said it now 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I've said it 3 times. I actually just said 10 seconds ago in that.
I wasn't listening. Say it a 4th time, please.
Sean Lewis will join us on Wednesday.
Say it a 5th time.
Thankfully, Jim won't be here next week. So tune in to the entire week. If he stays in wherever he's going, he can stay there. If he stays in Italy, the world will keep spinning. If he stays in France or Switzerland, he doesn't even know where he's going. Just stay. If you were there and you didn't have Aaron and you didn't have a phone, you would have no way to get home.
Your phone flashlight's on.
That's fair.
That's just funny because you're telling him he has no idea what he's doing, and then you got your phone flashlight.
There's certain things Jim knows how to do. One of which is to turn off a phone flashlight. There's a reason my phone flashlight was on, because of the issues we're having in here right now.
That's right.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do in the final 2 hours of the show. We've got you covered inside of a day away from the trade deadline. Jesse Rogers, all right, ESPN works with Jeff Passan. Jeff, speaking of ridiculous tweets, I want to talk about that real quickly.
Oh my gosh, the passion tweet that made no
Jeff Passan
sense.
Tweet from last night. I mean, I seriously almost
my head hurt when you read it
almost
to me.
puked.
What did he say?
Listen to this tweet.
This is a Passanism.
Is it another haiku?
It's worse. Okay, so the Cubs, right, made their move yesterday, right, for Paredes.
Yeah.
And here's what he tweeted out. Just because the Cubs are considering moving players from this current roster doesn't mean they're selling. Just as because they acquired Isaac Paredes doesn't mean they're buying. Modern baseball is a game about opportunity, the furthest thing from a binary. It's a fundamental tenet to understand how teams operate and what motivates them. There can be buyers and sellers, yes, but ultimately teams view themselves as value gatherers. And the only question is whether they're gathering that value for today or down the road.
I have to admit something. During you reading that tweet, I completely checked out because
Too many big words.
it was
You don't have to admit anything.
It was just
You're always checked out.
ridiculous.
Dude, the Cubs GM said before the trade deadline that if we make trades, it's not necessarily because we think we're doing it for this year. If we get somebody that can help us 2 years down the road,
Sure.
we're going to do it. And that's pretty much
all
what it was
baseball.
yesterday. Yeah.
What kind of tweet is that?
Yeah, I don't
dude?
know. Oh, my.
Dude,
Like,
that was like tame compared. There was people that were just losing their minds.
I
Like,
know.
oh, they're 5 games out of the wild card. Why are they wasting, players? And it's just like, dude, they're only 5 games out, but they'll.
You had a great line yesterday where you said, what was it? These are the types of tweets that turn off
casual fans,
Casual
baseball
fans,
100%. This
Yeah.
is such. I'm the smartest guy in the room. This is such gatekeeping.
Yeah.
This is such keeping, like staying in your position and keeping everyone else beneath you.
Right.
I really don't understand it. Maybe he's trying to be funny. I mean, this is how he writes.
Yeah.
And listen, he does an amazing job with this stuff. You have to
Amazing.
follow him if you're a baseball fan like we are.
Yeah.
And he could tweet about Garrett Crochet to whomever in 5 seconds. He's got the context and the information, and he doesn't get it wrong.
Nope.
To his credit, he gets it right.
Yep.
But some of this stuff is like, dude, like, give me a break.
He's really the only guy that you should be following during the trade deadline.
Because you're not going to miss anything of significance.
Because and now if you love the rumors, shout out Will Holder.
Yeah, there's
you
others.
can follow everybody else.
Mhm.
But if you just want like, hey, just text me when something happens type of guy, which there's a lot of people out there like that.
Yep.
Men and women, like just follow Passan. That's all you need to do. Turn on notifications and he'll let you know when actually something happens. He's not in the rumor game, which I appreciate and I respect. And he's only in the game of, I'm going to tweet out when something actually happens. And when it's going to happen, I will be 100% right.
Yes, but the issue with turning on his notifications is you also get tweets like the one I just read you.
Right, yeah.
All right, on the other side, we'll get to the wrap. Also, in the 4 o'clock hour, a chance to win Luke Bryan tickets to a sold-out show August 8th here in San Diego. Plus, Jesse Rogers from ESPN will join us at 5 p.m. Stay with us. Jim is chewing food for the moment, so stand by. That's your responsibility as our listener to wait for Jim to eat his Cheez-Its. Stand by. He'll be with us momentarily.
This update's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres have an off day today. Trade deadline is less than 24 hours away. Padres already made one trade yesterday for Reliever Jason Adam of the Tampa Bay Rays. He has a 2.49 ERA this year in 47 games pitched. Padres went 7-2 on their road trip. They'll take on the Dodgers starting tomorrow night at Petco Park. Other trades of note that happened this afternoon. Tommy Pham, old friend, is going back to the Cardinals. The Dodgers acquired pitcher Michael Kopech, and Eric Fetty is going to the Cardinals as well. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jon and Jim. AJ Preller gets reliever Jason Adam from the Rays for 3 prospects. But is he done? Meanwhile, the Padres take 2 of 3 from the AL East leading Orioles. Now, it's a day off before they come to Petco. Now, it's time for Jon and Jim.
Hi, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim with you until 6 p.m. Jesse Rogers, great baseball reporter from ESPN, will join us. Coming up at 5 p.m., we have Luke Bryan tickets that we'll give away this hour. I just got Jim before Cheez-It Gate when he was eating.
I hate you for this, by the way.
I did this just to mess with Jim because it's fun. I would never do this with the listeners. I wouldn't do the breaking news.
I would.
I know because you've done it. That's why I kind of.
But I won't anymore. I promise.
And not on these days. But this, I'm like, we're off mic, right? We're off air. It's at a break. I'm like, oh, it happened. He's like, wait, don't tell me. And he's dropping Cheez-Its and he's dropping his Coca-Cola and he's looking for remote controls in his phone and he goes to an app and I go, Lane Thomas to the Guardians. He goes, you. And he used some curse words in there and I walked out laughing.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lane Thomas is moved from the Nationals.
Appreciate that one.
I mean, again, you got to pick your spots. I can't do it the next 6 hours because you won't fall for it again. But if I do it again, you're gonna be like, oh, nothing happened. And the Padres are going to make their biggest trade since one. So
a part of me almost said, all right, tell me on air.
Okay. Lane Thomas to the Guardians.
I know. That's what I mean is that
right.
I was about to wait all of the break until we got back on for you to be like, all right, tell me the breaking news.
I know.
And you're like, Lane Thomas.
By the way, I did just for the first time. Do you turn notifications on Twitter? And for
I never have.
Never for anyone?
Or no, sorry. I don't have any notifications on at the moment. I rarely do.
So if there's one thing you're waiting on, you might turn one on. You know what I mean? Like this account will tweet something, so I'm just going to wait on that. So I'll turn it.
I remember the last time I did that was the Soto trade deadline.
Yeah, you just want them all on.
And I had Passan and I had
I just turned Passan on. I just turned Passan on. Now, again, I don't want that. Baseball's not a binary, but I do want Padres trades. So I turned him on.
See, I don't have, it's probably my bad. And like we were talking about to Darnay the other day. I probably should only have notifications on my phone for Twitter.
So then you don't have to constantly open the app.
Correct. Because I have a horrible, horrible problem of constantly picking up my phone and turning on my phone and going to Twitter and refreshing it. And I should really just put notifications on. So anytime something happens, I can see it without having to pick up my phone like an idiot and
do it.
Be addicted to my phone.
Honestly, I honestly believe the reason we do it as much as we do it is because it's kind of the gig, especially when we're here. On a day like today, you don't want to miss a story for 10 minutes. You don't want to miss a podcast. Now, again, you're not going to miss it with our chat and our text line and yada, yada.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that will inform us if something happens for sure.
Now, we do have a Jeff Passan tweet. I just got a notification.
It's the Lane Thomas tweet. He just tweeted it out.
So funny.
Yeah.
All right, Luke Bryan tickets. We'll give them away. We'll give them away coming up this hour. Jesse Rogers at 5 p.m. right now. Let's get to this.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Do you think the Padres paid too steep of a price for Jason Adam?
That's a TBD. It is kind of on paper like, whoa, you traded a pitching prospect, an outfield prospect, and a catching prospect for a reliever? And the reliever isn't like prime so-and-so?
Right.
Like,
no offense. You're saying it's not Mason Miller. You hear this guy's name all year.
Yeah, no offense to Jason Adam.
Who's been very good.
I watch baseball all the time, but I've never heard of Jason Adam before. That's probably my bad.
Click. Credibility, woo,
down the drain. You idiot! You don't know baseball. Come on, you never heard of Jason Adam before yesterday either.
Yeah, I actually have, and there's a reason as to why, but I won't get into it right now.
Okay, probably a minor league thing.
Yes.
Okay. But hey, the numbers are great. And if he can help the Padres win, that's great. I think it's a TBD on if they pay too steep of a price. But it is kind of weird seeing how much they traded away for just a reliever.
It's like, how do you define it? Here's how I define it. It's only a steep price if the Padres don't get where they hope to get. I'm all for a steep price if they could also, I'll say it like this, Jim. If they could make an NLDS or further, I'm okay with the price. Would you agree with that? Win a playoff round in 2024? Shoot, take the next 3 years if he's here. You make the postseason 2 of the next 3 years, maybe you have to say 3 of the next 3 years, and he's a part of that team, then I don't care what the price is. Because the goal is to get to the postseason and win. So I think it's a significant price, and I think the onus is on the Padres to win. But I don't personally believe it's too steep of a price for a guy that's been very effective late innings as a setup guy for each of the last 3 years. Next question.
The Padres are 10th in the UT's MLB power rankings today. Is that too high, too low, or just about right?
Did you notice that? They cracked the top 10 in the power play?
That is way too low.
Did you get a notification?
That's way too low, John. That is way too low.
What do you think? Do you want the rest of the top 10?
Sure gets.
Well, I'd have to find it. That seems fair. I mean, I think they're playing like a top 10 team in baseball. I think by record, there's something like, top 10 or 12 team in baseball. I think it's kind of reasonable. Here's the rest of the top 10, Jim. Tell me where you have an exception or an issue. Okay. Phillies 65-40, number 1.
Okay.
Yankees 62-45. How are they number 2? There's no chance the Yankees are number 2 in the power poll.
Well, they're beating the number 1 team in the poll right now, 3-0.
Okay, fair. Dodgers number 3. Orioles number 4. There's no way they should be number 4 the way they're playing. Cleveland number 5. Milwaukee number 6. The Twins number 7. The Royals number 8. The Astros number 9. The Padres number 10. They've got the Padres over the Braves. How do you feel about that, Jim? Jeff Sanders says the Padres over the Braves in the power poll.
Jeff, buddy, we're going to need to talk. I'll text him in a bit.
I think they're capable of being a top 10 team, yes.
Sure.
That's not that much of a reach.
No.
They got to do it.
Yeah.
But they're capable of being a top 10 team.
For sure.
Top third.
Absolutely.
But you don't put top 10 banners in Major League Baseball.
No.
They were top 10 for 3 weeks.
Yay.
Doesn't make any sense.
Participation trophy. Let's go.
Next question.
How do you feel now after Team USA's big win over Serbia?
I think that Kevin Durant makes a huge difference.
How do I feel about Team USA after Game 1?
Right.
I feel like it's like the best team I've ever seen.
It feels like that. Now, we'll see how things pan out here. But because they did also, by the way, in their showcase, the one team that they did blow out was Serbia. And they blew them out again in their first game of the Olympics. So maybe it's just they have a really good matchup against Serbia, and they have struggles versus like the Germanys and the Australia, France. They haven't played France yet, by the way.
I know. Well, okay, hear me out for a second. Because you were sleeping when this game started, I'm positive.
No, I wasn't. I watched the whole thing.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, they go down 10-2. I'm willing to I'm like, can we make a trade?
And
can we trade Wemby for like some U.S. citizen?
Well, they subbed out Embiid and everything changed.
That's exactly right. And by the way, and then KD came in with about 3 minutes to play in the first quarter and everything changed. Yep. I mean, they were really good as a team from beyond the arc, but KD just opened everything up. I think it's different with Kevin Durant, and that's reasonable because he's a top 3 player like in the history of the sport or currently in the sport. So I think with KD, I now see why they're the minus 500 favorite to win the gold because KD means a lot.
Imagine if they had also Kawhi.
Yeah.
Because then you could truly put Kawhi in the place of Embiid.
Ooh.
You start Kawhi over Embiid, and you play pretty much like LeBron at the 5.
That's the one thing I wish we saw. Not seeing Kawhi to me is a disappointment. Just here in Southern California, the San Diego State tie, watching his career, I wish he was on the team. I think it would make it more enjoyable for me personally.
Yeah. Now you couldn't have played Kawhi at the 5 versus Serbia because they had
Well, they have
Jokic.
the best center like in the NBA.
And when they play France, they're going to need Embiid
But against
versus
Puerto Rico,
Gobert and Wemby.
But
Puerto
there's a
Rico,
couple of these teams you could play them definitely.
Oh, yeah. And that's where the Jason Tatums are going to come into play and everything. And their small ball lineup is easily by far the best in the entire world. No question.
No doubt.
You don't think LeBron could have guarded the Joker in the post?
No. I realized after I said that. Like,
it would have been like, remember back in the day when like Rodman would try and like guard Shaq down in the post?
Magic.
Anybody trying to guard Shaq.
All right, next question.
What's been your favorite Olympic event so far?
So Claire, Aaron's best friend and maid of honor at the wedding, she is in Paris right now at the Olympic Games. She was watching swimming last night. To me, the swimming is like, it's just, I don't know. There's something about it. The diving, something about it for me.
You do love the diving.
Yeah, the dive. Did
He's
you see
a big dive
Did
guy.
you see yesterday? I forget what country he was from.
That's not real.
That's not real?
When he lands on his back, it's from 2015.
Oh,
isn't that amazing?
Darn it.
The dude, it's a 2015 World Championship. The guy does this like a dive and he just
falls on his back.
cracks his back.
It's like he did like a cannonball almost.
Yeah, you couldn't have done it worse.
Darn it.
Yeah, that's from 2015.
Swimming is up there just because I think like the whole feel of it and the look of it was really cool. And yesterday they got into it because the best swimmer was from France and he won the gold.
That guy was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable.
Okay, I would say, and I'm not going to do spoilers because I feel like there's a lot of people that, even though it's available everywhere on social media, and it's hard to stay away. I think you'll see some good stuff, obviously, tonight. By the way, I think the coverage is phenomenal. I think Mike Tirico is just unbelievable.
They're doing a really good job, yeah.
And he just kind of pulls you in. I've been a huge. I never thought I would necessarily say this. I think the gymnastics is great theater.
No, it's great.
Again, are we watching it in like August of 2025? No. Am I watching it like January of 2027? No, I'm not. Did I watch the lead up to it? I'll be honest, no. But they get there and you see this is such a ridiculous sport that you got one chance every 4 years in like some 20-second routine to get it right or you fail. There's no, it was good, it could have been great. It's like you're either great or you're awful. Like the difference is so ridiculous between good and bad, and you got one chance to get it right. I think it's really good TV.
So
I really do.
The other day, we were watching one of our friends' dogs this past weekend, and she picked up Fitz and brought over cookies for us to thank us for watching her dog. And last night, we were all texting. Me and Aaron are on the couch. We're eating cookies. And do you remember the gymnast that was before Simone Biles? I forget her name. And she was doing a routine, and then she like fell off the mat.
Oh, dude, I felt so bad for her. I know
so
exactly what
bad.
you're talking about.
And you were just like,
she won the gold in that event 3 years ago.
And me and Aaron are like, oh, you got to land that,
yeah,
right?
Like, who are we?
And of course, we're sitting there like fat slobs eating cookies in our body weight, judging these Olympic athletes.
So
like, how could you miss that? How could you this? It's like, oh,
dude,
that's what the
Jay
Olympics are.
Carey, by the way.
Oh man,
of course,
so
Jay
bad.
Carey.
But that's what like the Olympics is for like us regular people.
I
You
watched
just sit on the couch, criticize these guys.
Like, let me get this straight. This dude's been hanging around all day waiting to do the pommel horse. And it's like, if you do it well, it's good. And if you don't, that's amazing.
That's crazy
it's amazing.
pressure.
It's amazing. All right. So still to come, again, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. That's August 8th. We'll give those tickets away coming up later this hour around 4:45. Jesse Rogers will join us coming up at 5 p.m. We do want to hear from you, by the way. The text line is open, 70470. Start your message with the word team. More on the trade deadline, where the Padres may be searching. They've been tied to 6 starting pitchers. We'll share some of those names with you on the other side. Stay with us. Actually, speaking of the Olympics opening ceremonies, obviously this past weekend, well underway. Day 3 in Paris. iHeartRadio is the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. And this NBC Olympic Report is brought to you by Islands Restaurants, your local paradise. Hit us up on the Talkback Mike. Just open the free iHeartRadio app with San Diego Sports 760. Little red microphone icon next to the play button. Leave a 30-second talkback. Jesse Rogers from ESPN with us at 5 p.m. Or on AJ Preller and his thinking inside 24 hours until the 2024 trade deadline. Which has to be fair tickets to see as well. At the North Island Credit Union. Here's 6 games tied to the Padres still at this hour. It happened yet. Moved. Right? Okay. 4 of these from Dennis Lynn, one from Kevin AC, one from Ken Rosenthal, all tied to the Padres. Dennis Lynn reporting this weekend the Padres have spoken to the Tigers about clarity in a move. I feel like he's good to me, but he's not moving. Okay. So Dennis saying that clarity in the Padres is spoken. Not checked. Dennis also saying the Padres have checked in at least on this. Very interesting name. We touched on here or there. He's pitching really well, Jim. Now he's owed $38 million next year, which makes it a problem maybe to move Blake Snell. Plus, they've won 4 consecutive games. Do you think Blake Snell is moved in?
No, the contract will make it extremely hard. I think the Giants, if they could move him, they would absolutely do it. But what team is trading anything of significance for that?
Good question. All right. So then we have this from Kevin AC. Kevin saying the Padres, maybe before landing Jason Adam, made a serious play for Rays starter Taj Bradley.
Yeah.
Who's a terrific young right-handed starter. He's out of Southern California in LA. He's 23. It's like a 3 ERA. It sounds like that's not happening. And they pivoted to Jason Adam and gave up a good amount to get Adam. So again, another tie though to a starting pitcher for the Padres.
Well, they have been in on the starting pitching market all trade deadline long, and they'll continue to be in the starting pitching market until 3:00 tomorrow or 2:59:59.
I agree. Ken Rosenthal writing the Padres and Dodgers believed to be among the teams still pursuing Garrett Crochet. Wrote that this weekend.
Interesting.
Dennis Lynn saying the Padres have done background work on Cubs starter Jameson Taillon.
Interesting.
Got a sub-3 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, which is very good. And Dennis also writing, they've discussed Rockies right-hander, old friend Cal Quantrill.
Yes.
He also wrote, Dennis, that these discussions among likely dozens of possible options for Preller or the Padres. You know, it's Preller. He's not just checking in on like 6 players. He's probably checking in on all players.
Yeah.
So there are, it makes sense. Probably dozens of options for the Padres to pursue. Those are 6 of them. Are you excited most by any of those players? Again, Crochet's the name, but he's not going to impact you the way some people think he will, at least in 2024. Snell, again, we know, old friend Blake Snell. I mean, are any of these pitchers something that you're writing home about? Maybe Jack Flaherty with the year he's had?
And we know Scooble, if you read Ken Rosenthal's piece today.
He says he's not moving.
It's not moving. It's not happening because when you look at the pitching market, we've been talking crochet, but realistically, Scooble has been far and away better than almost everybody out there that has been rumored on the trade market.
And could give you innings in the second half. They're not limiting his innings.
He potentially could win the Cy Young in the American League.
Yep.
So with that not happening.
Well, I think one rival executive said, like, there's no chance in hell they're moving Tariq Skubal.
And I don't know why the Tigers would do that.
Right. He's got all this control.
It's not like they're the White Sox where there's literally 50 games under 500.
Is that how many games the White Sox are under?
I don't think the White Sox have won 30 games this year.
Are they going to win another game? Of course they will. But how many games will they win in August and September?
Here,
6?
Dude, just side note.
8?
Their record, John?
Yeah, what is their record? Can't be good.
27-81.
Wow, that's a 250 winning percentage.
They would need to win out to go 500.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Dude, they're only 37.5 games back of Cleveland.
Oh,
10-44 on the road.
They're only, what's the record on the road?
10-44.
Wow.
They've lost 10 in a row.
They come here, right?
No, sorry. They've lost 14 in a row. They come here, yes.
They come here and they're 10-44 on the road.
Their run differential is minus 218.
I don't want to hear about the White Sox came here and swept the series. We don't need a do-over of the Rockies series from 2 months ago.
I would say of the names that you mentioned there, John, Cal Quantrill, Jack Flaherty, Jameson Taillon, and
Quantrill, Tyon, Crochet, Taj Bradley, Blake Snell, Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, I think Tyon, Flaherty, and Quantrill
would be your favorites.
Would be my favorites. To one of those players to be
Flaherty's
here.
the best among those three.
Yeah,
he's having a great year. Tyon's had a very good year. Quantrill's had an average year.
Crochet to me seems like the player that Preller wants probably the most, but I don't know if it makes sense, truthfully, and I don't know if he can get that done without giving up something that he probably doesn't want to give up. Or he just says F it and, prospects be damned and just goes out and does something stupid from a trading away prospects standpoint.
Who would you like to see Preller try to land between now and tomorrow at 3 p.m.? Simple as that. Who do you want to see Preller try to land? 70470. Start your message with the word team or call us. 877-767-4760. That's 70470. Start it with team. For your text, who do you want to see the Padres try to land? Or call us, 877-767-4760. Jesse Rogers at 5 p.m. Luke Bryan tickets at 4:45. Stay with us.
All right, this update's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres have an off day today. They'll take on the Dodgers for a 2-game series starting tomorrow at Petco Park. Trade deadline less than 24 hours away. Padres so far have only made one trade for Jason Adam of the Tampa Bay Rays reliever. He will be here tomorrow for the start of the series versus the Dodgers. Other trades in baseball that have happened this afternoon. Tommy Pham, old friends, going back to the Cardinals. Eric Fedde also going to the St. Louis Cardinals. Michael Kopech is going to the Dodgers, and Lane Johnson is going to the Guardians from the Nationals. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, so Jim just posted this on our Twitter account, X account, whatever it is, at Jon and Jim. Can we get some follows right now at Jon and Jim, and then follow us and click the notification button? Because if anything happens, we'll break it for you. So Jon and Jim on X, Jon, no H in my name, ANDJIM, no H in Jim's name either. So at Jon and Jim, follow us on X. Shoot, maybe we'll follow you back. Follow us right now on X. We'll follow you back
Right now. Do
right
it.
now, but you got to do it now.
Right now.
Between now and the next break. So you have 10 minutes.
This very second.
Do it. And Jim will give you a shout out maybe on air too.
Yes.
But you just put on at Jon and Jim, and again, follow us and turn notifications on. You said, who do you want to see the Padres and AJ Preller trade for at the deadline? People are also weighing in right now on our text line, which is 70470. Start it with the word team. Let me start here real quick, Jim. 760 saying, with the Giants out of it and having paid 2/3 of Snell's salary for this year, along with the fact that the Padres are not paying Darvish right now, and with the opportunity to reunite him with Niebla, done deal. He's coming back. Is the option for next year a team option or player option? It's a player option. That's why it's not a done deal.
Yeah, it's
everyone's
interested.
interested.
$38 million player option.
Yeah, everyone's interested if it's only for this year.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
But it just, it doesn't make too much sense to do that. And the Giants, it's so funny that the Giants had a sweep this past weekend of the Colorado Rockies to give them that false hope. Kind of the same thing the Padres did last year right before the deadline, have that sweep to give them fake false hope. It's going to be interesting to see what the Giants do. Are they going to go full seller mode? Or are they going to stand pat? Are they going to buy? I don't know. I just don't see Blake Snell in the movie at all because it just makes sense. Like there's a lot of things that have to happen.
By the way, the people following us, thank you. We followed you back. Bobby, Paper Sack, Paper Sack.
Oh, yeah, it's a Paper Sack.
Me, something.
You know what?
We followed you back. If you follow us right now at Jon, we'll follow you back. Shout out on air. JONANDJIM. What are people saying right now in replies to that tweet in terms of players
we have from LFG Dads, Quantrill, and Flaherty.
Yeah, those are good names we've talked about.
Marcel, Tyler Anderson, and Kirby Yates. Pure Padres says Blake Snell.
Yep. Couple Blake Snell, I see.
Couple Blake Snells. Yeah. Firepower says Blake Snell. Steve on Twitter says Scooble.
Okay.
On our YouTube chat, Roger here says Kikuchi. Miles also says Kikuchi. Then he also says Tyler Anderson and Tanner Scott. Carlos says Bartolo Colon.
Oh, that'd be a very big pickup.
Yeah.
619 says Cal Quantrill. I want Cal Quantrill. He seems more affordable, and he pitched well for the Padres as a rookie. I think it would be a nice ad. I think actually, we said this earlier, I'm more in line with the back end rotation ad than I am the front line because you look at the price for pitching right now, Jim. It's like you got to move a lot to go get a starting pitcher, it appears right now. Maybe that's why some of these starters are still on the market. The price is just going up, and maybe we'll get movement with starters tomorrow. But it seems like a lot of things are bidding up. 8, 10, 12 starting pitching. We saw a lot of that haven't yet moved.
Cal Quantrill this year with the Colorado Rockies, who suck, is 7-7 with a 4.0. 21 starts. 114 third innings pitched. Not a lot of strikeouts. His whip isn't that great. 1.3. You tell me you wouldn't.
I'll take that.
I'll take that right now.
Field effect too in there.
Now, here's the other thing about Cal Quantrill that I missed on this. So I said he had a 1-year, $6.5 million contract.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He's arbitration eligible next season.
Great.
So he's controllable.
When's he a free agent?
It says free agent 2026.
Okay, so you got 1 more year. So you go to arbitration, you make 6 now. So let's say it goes up to 8, 9. It's not a nice year, whatever, 8. You can live with an $8 million starter, a cost controllable starter for 2025 at the back of your rotation. You got question marks in your rotation next year because you don't know about Musgrove and Darvish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, I like Cal Quantrill a lot. Former Padres guy. He's been here, and you bring him back. It's just in division trades. The Rockies hopefully they're not like D-bags about it. And
Dude, they don't care. They don't. What do they sell? You should be selling off all parts if you're the Colorado Rockies.
Every single significant contributing part of your team.
Thank you, by the way, Mr. Red 2105 for the follow. Lalo for the follow. We followed you back. Follow us at Jon Jim on X. We'll follow you back right now. JONANDJIM. So yeah, I mean, everyone is saying the same things, which is they need starting pitching. I don't hear people talking about a right fielder. I think both hitting. Like their hitting's been good. Yeah, you need Tatis, no doubt. They need Tatis. Their offense. Yeah, so their offense has been really good. We said this yesterday. Their bullpen ERA heading into yesterday was somehow 21st in baseball. It doesn't feel that way. I don't think Jason Adams is 21st in baseball third, but their high leverage guys have been very good. The one thing they don't have, like they truly do not even have, is a number 5. That's the one thing. Now you can say Musgrove, not a number 5, but gives you 5 in your rotation. Darvish at some point maybe gives you 5 or even 6, but these are question marks. So the one thing it feels like they have to do is starting pitching. Maybe the rest of it is luxury.
Yeah, the bullpen ERA, it's to me kind of like misleading because you got guys in the bullpen that have given up a lot of runs, but it's not been in like crunch time. I mean, Robert Suarez and Jeremiah Estrada and Adrian Morone and Yuki Matsui.
Saves.
Like Yuki Matsui, they're not guys that have like 7 ERAs. They're just not. I bet you if you just took those 3 dudes or 4 guys, they're a top 10 like bullpen, and you get rid of all the fat. You get rid of like the De Los Santos. You get rid of the Koleks. You get rid of who else? The Austin Davis, guys that have given up a lot of earned runs. Tom Cosgrove give up a lot of earned runs
when he was here.
Wandy Peralta, Johnny Brito when he was here. Like it's a misleading stat, I feel like, because of the guys I just mentioned. But their top end, their A team
is good,
is very good. And you just added that with Jason Adam.
Yeah, your A team got better. I agree with you on the A team, and we had this conversation last night in the wrap-up show. I don't know if their A team is top 5 or not, but it's there. It's in the conversation. Estrada, Suarez, and Morahone, and now Jason Adam. Like that's got to be top 5 consideration.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not, it's top 10. This isn't some top 12. No, they're better than top 10. They're better than top 10. That's an elite back end of a bullpen to try to preserve leads. I'm not saying 100 for 100, but look at what Robert Suarez has done this year. He basically holds leads with rare exception.
Yeah, you got Jeremiah Estrada with 2.75 ERA. Sorry, 2.72 ERA. You got Robert Suarez with 1.51 ERA. You got Adrian Morel with 2.7. You have Jason Adam right now with 2.49 ERA. You got Yuki Matsui with 3.45. That's your top.
Yeah, it's good.
That's very good.
And you mentioned Adam?
I did mention Adam.
Yeah, and Adam now with he can post a 2 ERA from here on out.
Yeah.
So go out another piece too. Yeah, go out another. Yeah. Exactly. If you can't go get the starting pitcher you're looking for, you can short games. Go out some more bullpen help. All right. Jesse Rogers, ESPN, will join us coming up in 20 minutes. You need to call right now, though, if you want to play for 2 free tickets to see Luke Bryan at a sold-out show August 8th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Call right now. First 2 callers will be our contestants for Trainwreck Radio. That is trivia. The number to call is 877-767-4760. You need to call right now. We have a pair of free tickets to see Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater August 8th. This show is sold out. And again, the number to call, first 2 callers will be contestants for trivia, is 877-767-4760. Call right now, 877-767-4760. That's next. All right, mortgage rates are down. Yep, they've been dropping big time. So it's a great time to call Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto's got APRs in the fives, folks. Yes, in the fives. So if you got stuck with a high rate last year and want to refinance, this is a great time to call and lower your payment. Or you can use this opportunity to get cash out of your home's equity and pay off those credit cards or personal loans, car loans, and other high rate debt. Loan Pronto can help you use these lower rates to get the cash you need in a matter of days. You can do a full refi, or you can do an Equity Express line of credit. Homeowners who call Loan Pronto typically cut their monthly payments, listen to this, by $850. Bottom line, your home value's way up and mortgage rates have come down big time, making this a great time to act. Call today for a free 30-second rate quote. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call 619-207-4336, 619-207-4336, loanpronto.com, 619-207-4336. Equal housing lenders, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. All right, coming up at 5 p.m., Jesse Rogers, ESPN, on the trade deadline. About 22 hours out. So Jesse Rogers, ESPN, will join us coming up at 5 p.m. We do have these Luke Bryan tickets to play for in a moment. Jim had some baseball deadline news, right? You say Kikuchi?
Kikuchi looks like he's going to the Astros.
So he was with the Blue Jays on his way to Houston. They've really played well. There's a starting pitcher, though, potentially off the market. Jack Flaherty's been scratched today. Could be off the market later today.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep our eye on everything. We'll talk to Jesse Rogers on the latest. But right now, let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Josiah and we have Sam. Josiah, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
Hello.
Who do you want to go with?
Jim.
All right, so who was that? Jim and Josiah? Jim and Josiah,
All
like
right.
that.
Jim and Josiah and Sam and John. Sam, you good with that? You there?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
He was going to pick me.
Yeah. All right. Brent, what's the question of the day?
All right, guys. Team USA beat Serbia today 110-84 in its Olympic opener on
Yesterday.
Sunday. Oh, my bad. Today's question: can you name the 6 players on Team USA that scored double figures in the win? So there's 6 players on Team USA that had double-digit scoring. Name them.
All right, Sam, you're up first. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
I will go with Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Good
KD
guess.
is 21 points more than 9. It is.
He was very good.
Okay.
Josiah, what is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
I'm going to have to use my lifeline.
Ooh, LeBron James. Do you take that? Take it.
We'll take it.
Okay. On the
Josiah's
list.
calling in from the moon.
It's okay. Sam, you're up next. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
Sure. Let's go with the lifeline.
Lifeline.
Top of my head.
Okay. Lifeline with me. Now, I watched this entire game, and I know that Kevin Durant scored some points. I know that LeBron scored some points. Now, I saw Steph Curry hit 2 threes in this game. I feel like he didn't do much other than that, but I'm just going to say Steph Curry was one of the 6 players in double figures. Do you take that?
Sure.
You're right.
Yes. I was.
Nice.
It couldn't have been much more than 10, right?
I think he's like 11.
He had a late
11.
3 to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Josiah, you're up next. What is your next guess? And you do not have a lifeline.
Okay. What about Booker?
Booker.
Devin Booker.
Booker. Yes. He
On
hit
the
some
list.
threes early. Yes.
All right. Sam, back to you. What is your
I'm going to say Ant. Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards. Is he on the list? Yes, he is.
There we go. All right,
So there's
Josiah.
one player left.
Yeah. This is all up to you, man. Send this thing to overtime or Sam wins the game. You don't have a lifeline, so this is all up to you. Final player.
Let's go with James.
Oh, so LeBron James is off the
LeBron's
list.
off the board.
Oh, we already. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Embiid.
Joel Embiid for the time. No, and it's over, and Sam has won the Luke Bryan tickets. I don't hate it because there's only one available. He named someone on the team.
The other player, I believe.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's only 4 players that didn't score in double
Right, that
figures.
played.
It's either Drew Holiday or Anthony Davis.
Well, which one is
I'll
it?
go with I'm
go
going
with
to go with
I'll
Drew
go with Drew
Holiday.
Holiday.
Drew
Drew
Holiday.
Holiday.
Yeah, because Anthony Davis is in foul trouble.
Yeah, and
He didn't play a lot.
I remember looking at the box score.
Yep.
Everybody that started besides Embiid was in double figures.
How many did Tatum have?
He had this. He has many as me
He
and
had
you,
0.
John.
How many? But Halliburton, how many did he have?
He had Halliburton and Tatum scored
Word. The same
and
as
played
John and
as
Jim.
much as John and Jim played in the Olympic game
Isn't that
yesterday
funny,
versus
man?
Serbia.
How that works?
Yeah, no, Holiday had 15.
Okay.
The
Very
only
good game.
the only players that didn't score double Embiid only had 4, Bam had 4, Anthony Davis had 7, and Derek White had 2.
Okay. How many minutes did Anthony Davis play? Do you have that there?
19.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Sam. You've won a pair of tickets to see Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. This is August 8th, a sold-out show. Great giveaway. Your opportunity to win tickets throughout this week right here on Jon and Jim. So a great great giveaway. Now, Jesse Rogers, Jim's going to join us in about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of movement the last 2 days. I mean, a ton of movement, more than maybe some expected.
That goes hot.
That's the thing. It's hot at the deadline, but the Padres have been kind of lukewarm. They've dipped their toe in with a high leverage setup man reliever in Jason Adam, but that's all they've done as of yet. It's not to say they couldn't make 4 more trades or none. We'll find out. But
see, the thing you kind of worry about with trading away 3 prospects for just 1 reliever is that in the industry, it's like known that your organization and prospects, you don't have like a top level organization as far as prospects go like you did in the past. We had a surplus of top level guys. So trading away 3 guys, 2 of them in your top 10 for 1 reliever, and you also need another starter, potentially 2.
Are you saying they maybe put it like all in with that one trade that they don't have enough to make another?
I don't think they went all in. I think they have enough to make another, but is that enough to make another gonna be good enough? You know what I mean? Like it's
a good question. Again, is it good enough to go get some back end starter? Yeah, maybe. Is it good enough to get a front end starter? Maybe not.
Like, could you go get Nick Martinez on the cheap? Could you go get that? Bring back him for cheap. I don't know how his contract.
He makes good money, remember?
Yeah,
but maybe.
But you're going to have to be creative here and probably find somebody that you won't have to give up, like Major, Pauly, and potentially Snelling. You know what I mean? Like, because that right there is everything except for Salas and DeVries.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think there's enough there with Major, Pauly, Snelling, the 3 names you just listed, to go get a starter, a back-end starter. But are you willing to do that? And then your system is so thin
and
that you got to go build it up. And I don't know.
And another player that isn't a prospect that's been talked about in trades for whatever reason, why I don't know, is are they shopping Donovan Solano or what?
What's he going to get you in return?
A reliever? But
you're not trading Donovan Solano for Nick Martinez.
No, and if you trade Donovan Solano to a bad team for a good reliever, why would that team do that for Donovan Solano for just a half a season? Not even a half a season.
I have no idea.
And they're going nowhere. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you now. Are you willing to move Ha-Seong Kim? I'm not. But again, like, these are the things. Are they considering moving Donovan Solano? Maybe. Are they considering moving Ha-Seong Kim? I don't think they should be.
Just because their organization depth isn't as good as it has been in the past.
All right.
If you have Salas and DeVries off limits.
Correct. And we don't know if that's the case or not. We'll find out over the next 22 hours. All right. It's been a busy day. It's been a busy 48 hours with the trade deadline approaching. Let's get the latest with Jesse Rogers, his thoughts on where the Padres stand right now. Jesse Rogers from ESPN on the Jason Adam deal, on what may be still to come around baseball, including with AJ Preller and the Padres. He will join us on the other side to kick off hour 3 of Jon and Jim, and it'll come your way next.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres, they have an off day today, coming off their 7-2 road trip. They return home tomorrow night to face the Dodgers for a 2-game series to finish up the month. Trade deadline day less than 24 hours away. Here's the trades that have happened today. Tommy Pham going to the Cardinals. Eric Fetty going to the Cardinals. Dodgers acquired Michael Kopech. And Yusei Kikuchi, this just came down moments ago, has been traded from the Blue Jays to the Astros. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jon and Jim. AJ Preller gets reliever Jason Adam from the Rays for 3 prospects. But is he done? Meanwhile, the Padres take 2 of 3 from the AL East leading Orioles. Now, it's a day off before they come to Petco. Now, it's time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim, less than 24 hours out from the 2024 Major League Baseball trade deadline. We've got you covered. It is our pleasure, as always, to welcome Jesse Rogers, ESPN baseball reporter, back to the show. It has been a busy 24, 48 hours around the sport. The Padres have struck, as we've talked about, with Jason and Adam. And Jesse, we appreciate your time here in San Diego. We know how busy it is. So let's just start right now with the market for starting pitching, where it feels like the Padres are at least trying to dip their toe in the water when it comes to starting pitching. What's the market like around baseball right now? It seems like the prices are fairly steep, and thanks for joining us.
I mean, they certainly are for relievers. I mean, we saw what happened with Jason Adam and Estevez. I mean, those are some good prices going back to those teams. So, yeah, I think the price is kind of high for pitching, as it always is at this time of year, much more than for a hitter. The starting pitching market moving a little bit. You know, Jack Flaherty, I think, is absolutely going to be traded by tomorrow. We'll see about a couple other guys like Garrett Crochet or Jamison Taillon, that the names that have been out there, although Taillon's pitching tonight, so I'm not sure that anything's close there. And Crochet's market's been complicated by his kind of demands that are out there. So Flaherty is probably the best name on the market right now that hasn't moved.
And what it's going to take, do you think, in your mind, to get a Jack Flaherty? We just saw Kikuchi get traded to the Astros for their #2 prospect. Is that kind of the similar maybe asking price here for a Jack Flaherty out there, even though he would be considered a rental?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a solid pitcher. I mean, you're not going to get anybody's top prospect, but when it comes to rentals, you know, you get what you can in a sense, but you're going to get a good one. And maybe, or it's 2 medium ones, whatever the case may be. It's kind of a formula when it comes to those kinds of guys, good pitchers that are rentals. You know, you're trading 2 months for 6 years, basically. So it's a solid prospect or 2, but not anybody's top prospect. That's usually how it works.
Jesse Rogers, ESPN, with us right now on Jon and Jim. All right, so you are acutely aware of everything going on in Chicago. So what is the latest with Garrett Crochet and his market and the way this is all played out with his agent and the club? What's the latest with Crochet, and do you believe that the Padres potentially would be involved in trade conversations?
The answer to the second question is yes. I think the more complicated it is with the White Sox and his agents, the better it is for AJ Preller to come in here and sneak away with a left-handed starter, especially when you consider the Padres are getting back some starting pitching from injury, right? And the point is this. I think there's a couple teams, the Padres and the Braves, that could use him in the regular season and acquiesce to his demands not to pitch him in the postseason. I don't think the Padres are ready to hand Garrett Crochet an extension, which is what he wants if he pitches in the postseason. Now, I know everyone's going to say it looks bad for him to, you know, take his ball and go home, so to speak, if a team makes the playoffs. But look, Steven Strasburg got shut down in 2012 by the team, by the way. And so it happens. But I feel like if you want to use him in the regular season and not in the postseason, he's your guy. And I did see, I'm at the White Sox-Royals game right now. I was here all weekend. I did see a Padres scout here yesterday during Crochet's start. He could have been here for, you know, a middle reliever. Sure. I don't know for sure, but he was here, and I can't imagine it was, you know, he didn't report back on Crochet, who did not look sharp yesterday, but that could be for various reasons. So I still think there's a possibility, but the teams are now limited. Chris Getz spoke for the first time about everything that's gone on. He was not happy about it today. What happened with Crochet is sort of putting it out there last week that he has these usage demands, and he didn't go to the team first. He sort of just put it out there. I wrote a story about it with some sources, and he didn't go to the team first. So Chris Getz not happy about that. I can pretty much guarantee you if he's not traded by tomorrow, he'll be traded in the off season. But I could see a team trying to swoop in just to use him down the stretch.
And to get Garrett Crochet, is the asking price still like through the roof?
Yeah, it's pretty big. I mean, because even if you use him limited this year, you've got him for 2 years, and he's at the top of his game. He's built up now. Like, you're going to get the best of him over the next couple of years. You're not going to have to worry about an innings limit. So yeah, it's a very high price for him. And as we've seen with these other pitchers, you guys paid a high one for Jason Adams. Just imagine what a guy like Garrett Crochet, left-handed flamethrower, big, strong, has made every start this year. They've ramped him down some, but there's no reason, not to believe that he's coming into his own as a starter and be really good for at least 2 years of team control.
Jesse Rogers with us right now from ESPN. Trade deadline less than 24 hours now. You've referenced the Jason Adams trade a couple of times. What's your reaction there? A guy that's had a very nice couple of years in Tampa's bullpen as a setup man. Like you said, a relatively steep price, maybe a couple of top 10 prospects plus another lower level prospect, and an 18-year-old catcher. Does any part of that deal surprise you? And why or why not?
I think seeing what the Phillies got for or what the Angels got for Estevez, it surprises me less. I just mentioned it before. I'm a big, late July is when you want to trade relievers. Nobody cares in November or December about Jason Adams or even a closer. They're so much more valuable now. I'm sure AJ Preller is simply thinking this guy puts our bullpen over the top. If our bullpen's over the top, we might be in the playoffs. That has to be what he's thinking, to give up that kind of a return. Same thing with the Phillies and Estevez. So it's not surprising, but it is, because again, you fast forward this 3 or 4 months, there's no way. I don't think Jason Adams you get that return for Jason Adams. Look, the Rays are where you want to go to develop players, and then you go get them. I mean, the Cubs did it with Isaac Paredes yesterday. They're getting a more fully developed third baseman. You guys are getting a more fully developed reliever. The Rays can develop, give players runway because they don't really have to answer to fans. I'm not saying that jokingly. That's the place it's almost like a AAA atmosphere at the majors, and you're given a lot of runway to figure out who you are, and then other teams will go fuck you. We've seen it a million times with the Rays, so I don't see why you won't get the best of Jason Adams.
When you look at the Giants, I feel like they're kind of a team you don't know what they're going to do. But what you've heard, are they really considering trying to trade Blake Snell here?
I think the answer is yes, because I think the Giants in general have had an identity problem over the last few years. Not exactly sure what to do. It's been hard to draw the big name free agents. That's not all their fault. They just feel like they're not exactly sure who they are in the baseball landscape. And their record this year is kind of indicative of that as well. I don't think the Giants are better than the Braves, who have come back to the pack a little bit, or better than the Diamondbacks, to be honest, or even the Mets the way they played this year. I just don't. So knowing that, yeah, I'm not surprised they're trying to move a contract that is a big player option for next year, and maybe more guys than just Snell, to be honest. But they're always trying to do a little bit of both, right? And compete on the edges. I think a lot of people in baseball have wondered the last few years what exactly is happening in San Francisco, with the caveat that they're having trouble drawing big-time free agents.
Jesse Rogers with us for a couple more minutes. We appreciate it, Jesse. What do you think the Dodgers may be still trying to do? I wouldn't envision that their only move was this Tommy Edman, Michael Kopech move that they made today as part of that three-team trade with the White Sox and the Cardinals. I mean, what else are they trying to accomplish in the next 12 months?
I think they would take another starting pitcher. I think they would probably jump in on Crochet because I think they've got inventory and they can maybe acquiesce to his needs down the stretch, or maybe even give him that contract extension. Who knows? I could see them being in on Flaherty. I think the Dodgers and Yankees are going to push their chips in a little bit more. We haven't seen a lot since Jazz Chisholm with the Yankees. I think they're going to bolster their bullpen. So I would say starting pitcher for the Dodgers. And that's where I think Detroit could do well with Flaherty. I mean, I think he'll do well. And there's a few other guys out there, but he's probably the best name.
A name that's been mentioned, but it kind of feels like it's hard to envision him being traded. Skubal, there's no chance that he gets traded here at the deadline.
I'm not going to say no because Scott Harris, the president of Detroit, is kind of sort of on the radar of a mystery. I know this about Detroit. They are building something for years to come. They're not really concerned about the near-term future as much as they are the long-term. I know for Detroit fans, they're kind of tired of it because it's been a long time coming. But remember, Harris just took over a year or two ago. So I wouldn't be shocked if he was moved. I wouldn't be shocked. It's become a tough division, the AL Central. So I think Harris has a long-term view in mind, and that means you leave yourself open to just about anything. But look, he's an ace. As soon as you trade him, you got to replace him. So I'm not saying it's a fait accompli, but I wouldn't be shocked.
I think it's going to be a fascinating next day here before 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Jesse with ESPN, you do a great job. We really appreciate you taking time for San Diegans. Thank you so much. We'll do it again at some point in August or September. So
Thanks,
thank
Jesse.
you.
Okay, guys, no problem.
Great stuff. Jesse Rogers, who says that he does believe Preller is in on Crochet.
Yeah.
He did see a Padres scout in Chicago. He doesn't think they're enamored with the idea of an extension, but he does think because of the circumstances at play that may present an opportunity for Preller because of everything out there. Crochet, his representation, he may not pitch in the postseason. He's been limited in innings here already in the second half of the season. Maybe that actually creates a lane for the Padres that other teams don't want to deal with. Right? That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Most teams would want this guy in the postseason. Would the Padres be willing to say, get us there? Help us get there. We got 25 and 26. We got seats. We got King. We have good starting pitching. Help us get there.
Maybe he changes his tune because he wants to compete.
Maybe
he
yeah,
does.
definitely. Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's going into a contract year. He's going into another year of arbitration. Yes, he wants a long-term contract and he wants an extension to buy out his arbitration. But at the same time, I mean, you look at what Joe's going through right now, the ultimate competitor. He is not 100%. We don't know even close to the full details of what the injury he's dealing with, which could be probably significant. He's just trying to push through it. And he wants to be out there as bad as anything. He wants to just compete, help his team win. I would hope, honestly, that if the scenario played out to where the Padres somehow traded for Garrett, I would still not be in favor of it, but okay, say it happens. And they have that talk about, hey, just help us get there. We have 25 and 26. Just help us get there this year. You tell me the competitor in Garrett Crochet, who all these guys are, isn't going to be like, I want to pitch.
I mean, he referenced Strasburg. There's precedent here for guys that have had great careers.
There's a team that does it, not him.
That's the thing. I mean, but I mean, that's fair. It's such big business that the agents mean so much. Everyone has so much at stake, but it's a fair point. It really is. So, further reaction to what Jesse Rogers just told us here during our conversation with him, the trade deadline approaching. We have Jim's backstage still ahead. We're here until 6 p.m. The trade deadline is just hours away. And as we take a break, we remind you the Olympics are underway. iHeartRadio is the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. And this NBC Olympic Report is brought to you by Islands Restaurants, your local paradise. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back September 20th and 21st. T-Mobile in Vegas. Live performances by Keith Urban, New Kids on the Block, Pros, and more. Now's your chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. We have Jim's back page still ahead this hour. We've got you covered for the trade deadline, which is tomorrow at 3 p.m. We'll have full reaction, of course, here tomorrow on Jon and Jim. I thought our conversation with Jesse Rogers was pretty enlightening, really based on Garrett Crochet. And also, well, he said Jack Flaherty's moving. Okay, he said that.
Yeah.
He said the Padres, absolutely, he would envision being in on Crochet, and he gave us the reasons as to why. So, I'm curious. I really am. With Preller, you know that anything is possible. So we're not just like forcing the issue. Now, again, if I was in charge, I'd be measured here. I'd go back end starter. If I'm running this team, that's what I do. I go back end starter, live to see another day. I think I've got enough to get to the postseason, but I'm not in charge. And AJ Preller always is thinking big. He's proven it time and time again. Jim, including this year, Dylan Cease, Luis Ariz. So I'm not going to sit here and have my jaw drop if they acquire Garrett Crochet between now and tomorrow.
I just think when he hones in on a pitcher or
right.
a player, and he has that target set, he does everything he possibly can to get that specific player.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it is, hey, it's going to cost X, Y, Z, and it's going to cost more than maybe expected, and we're going to sit here and think to ourselves, like, what are we doing? But I think this player, so I'm not going to give up good praise. Like, I think Crochet was identified pretty early on by Preller, and he hasn't stopped. I feel like he's still continuing to try to get something done. The White Sox get Crochet. I really do. And I'm the same. I'm in the same boat. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't particularly like it. I've already said, like, I think this is a walking red flag type of trade. And if you especially give up Leo DeVries in that trade as well, I would not be a fan of that trade whatsoever. Now, again, guess what? Opinions can change, everybody. Some people don't think they can, but they can change. And if he comes here tomorrow, yeah, I'll be upset about it. But then in 2 months, if they're in the World Series and Crochet is a big part of that, no one's going to care. No one's going to complain.
Yeah, I mean, if someone told me right now, you got to give up DeVries, but you get Crochet and you have him through at least 2026, and he's with you for all three of those seasons this year, and then 25 and 26, I don't think I would be critical. I'd understand that it could be hurtful on the other side, but what's more valuable at the end of the day? Like top end starting pitching or really good position players?
That's going to potentially help you in 4 years at minimum.
And again, position players have great value. I mean, Tatis, Machado, whomever, these are some great players, but even great players don't guarantee you anything. I mean, I think I would take the top flight starting pitching over the top flight position player, all things being considered. And you'd never do it for a rental. Mm-hmm. Like you see some of these moves like this move for Yusei Kikuchi, who's a rental to Houston. They gave up their number 2 prospect in the organization. Nobody, I'm not saying move Leo DeVries for a rental. That's craziness.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it is this. DeVries is under control should he reach the major leagues for 6 years. You get Crochet for 2.5. That's a worthwhile possible trade. You get someone for 2.5 years that's already in the big leagues having success for someone that might be in the big leagues in your organization in the future for 6+ years. So I'd understand it. I'm with you. I'd reserve judgment. I wouldn't say like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did this, and here's why I think it's not a good deal. I would probably reserve judgment and say it's a steep price, but I understand it maybe both ways.
I just saw this on Twitter from Ryan Payne on Twitter.
Okay.
Makes a great point. Says, man, if the Sox traded Dylan Cease today, holy cow, the return would have been massive.
Massive.
So that's a credit to Preller for striking while the iron was not as hot as it would have been if they waited to trade Dylan Cease for today. But again, where would this team be without Dylan Cease? Not 57-51, I can tell you that.
And what did I say in hour one? Like the biggest trade of the season was for Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
Even if Garrett Crochet moves.
And then probably Luis Ariz after that.
Those are like the two big. Now, maybe we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe Jack Flaherty wins 3 games in the playoffs for someone, and that becomes a massive trade. But as of now, Dylan Cease is the biggest trade of the year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hard to top. Maybe Tariq Skubal moves. Maybe Garrett Crochet moves. But as of now, Dylan Cease has clearly been the biggest trade in baseball. You know, Preller's on the phone right now. He's working the Padres
Did you see
off.
him the other day? He looked
Dude,
like
he looked in rough shape.
The little, not 5 o'clock shadow, like the 8 o'clock shadow. Like he
that hasn't shaved in a while.
Exactly. He looked like got little bags under his eyes, hair a little messy, even though it always is kind of messy. And
he used the same lines he always uses, which is like, well, you know, if we can round out the roster, we will. We like what we have.
Well, when it comes to that, he's a robot. He has
robot.
It's like insert, generic response to every single trade question possible.
Like our team.
We feel good about our team. If a trade pops up, then we will go and we will try to make a deal. We haven't
ruled out Joe and you helping us in the second half.
We're always looking to improve.
Adam has really been helpful as a starter. No, he hasn't. Like some of the stuff he says.
Jon Jim again.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Some of the stuff he says, like, Adam Mazur's given us some. No, he hasn't given you anything, unfortunately.
No.
And Randy, we really like Randy. And listen, Randy Vasquez has had some value, but no, not. Are you counting on Randy Vasquez to get you to the postseason? I'm not. And are you counting on him to pitch in the postseason? I'm not.
No.
They can upgrade the rotation, and not only can they probably need to, and they understand it. And I think they will. You think they will. Most people think they will between now and tomorrow at 3 p.m. All right, more of your reaction. Who should the Padres trade for? A lot of reaction on social media and on the text line. 70470. Start it with the word team. Who do you think the Padres should trade for? 70470. Start it with team or call us. 877-767-4760. Again, 877-767-4760 or text us 70470. Start it with the word team. Jim's back page is ahead. We're here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. All right, sports fans, listen up. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. We have found paradise. It is Circa Las Vegas. We were there earlier this month. We're heading back in August. Largest sports book in Nevada, which you have to see to believe. It's got 6 incredible rooftop pools with massive outdoor video boards. They're huge. You can watch every single game, including every Padres game is on at Stadium Swim all year long. It's open 365 days a year. Here's the other good news. Circa is 21 plus, so there's nothing to worry about other than sports. Speaking of which, of course, football's coming back, and the biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back as well. Circa Survivor and Circa Million, now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes with 2 ways to win and no rake. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. If you last the longest to win it all, you've got $10 million guaranteed. And Circa Million makes 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed. They have quarterly and full season payouts. You can enter in Nevada, but you can play from anywhere, including right here in San Diego and Southern California. So visit circasports.com. That's circasports.com for details.
This update's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres, they have an off day today. They take on the Dodgers for a 2-game series starting tomorrow night at Petco Park. Dodgers have just made a move. They acquired Ahmed Rosario from the Tampa Bay Rays. Other moves in baseball today. Tommy Pham, he's going to the Cardinals from the White Sox. Eric Fetty is going to the Cardinals from the White Sox as well. And Yusei Kikuchi was traded from the Blue Jays to the Astros. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See, I think this is a great point from 360, who says, would a crochet trade for DeFreeze be more justifiable if they extended him right away? The answer to me is yes. If you somehow get crochet for 4 years, 5 years, again, predict the future, and guys have injuries, but yeah, I think it takes some of the risk out of it if you can extend him out, depending on the cost. Now, to your point of the Dodgers, Jim, it feels like the Dodgers here are like measured. It's like around the edges, finish out the roster. They've already spent their money in the offseason. You mentioned Ahmed Rosario, who they acquired last year at the deadline as well. Tommy Edman
is now back.
Yeah, it's like, it's like you're rounding out your team. You're looking at players 24 and 25 and 26. I don't think that's what the Padres did with Jason Adam. Like, that's a top flight reliever for you. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference now between Crochet or Nick Martinez.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Nick Martinez. Like, are you going with the 5 starter or are you going with the 1 or 1A?
You're kind of just sitting here. You know the names and you're just waiting for which one will come here.
It's like musical chairs right now.
Yeah. Like, it's not really a surprise that if the Padres will make another move, or a surprise if they trade for a pitcher. It's kind of like, all right, here's the player X. It's revealed. Who is it? Open the little fortune cookie. It's like, oh, it's Jack Flaherty, or oh, it's Nick Martinez.
It's so true. It's like, take the player and take the team and just put them together.
Yeah.
Because you got your 10 buying teams, you got your 12 selling teams, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? 15 buy, 8 sell.
Now there is the scenario where
you get left out in the cold,
where they don't get anybody.
Well, someone in this game of musical chairs is going to be left without a chair. There's no way all these buyers are addressing all their needs.
Or another scenario is you get left out from getting a starting pitcher, so you have to pivot at the last second to get a reliever. Or something of that ilk, so you can make your bullpen as strong as it possibly can be.
I would agree with that.
Going down the stretch.
I would agree with that. I don't know how many starting pitchers we've mentioned here today. 10. Legitimately 10 that very well do move between now and 3 p.m. But there's 15 plus teams in the market for starting pitching. So I don't think every team addresses their starting pitching need.
Because what you don't... there is a scenario where tomorrow, whenever he does speak to the media, there's a scenario where he says, nothing could get done. We are going with what we have here.
Right. We feel good about
this team, and we feel that Joe can come back and really help this team, and blah 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 blah.
He was great in his sim game today,
and that's where you're like, you're going to rely on Joe here, and it's not because you want to. It's because you have no other choice because you couldn't go out and get a starting pitcher.
Dude, August 1st, 2021, Chris Paddock IL. Not that he was Dylan Cease, but still one of your starters. IL.
That was
the deadline.
That was a big thing.
Big loss.
Yeah.
2023, Joe Musgrove goes on the IL the day of the deadline.
Yeah.
So they've played this game. Not to say you'd be foolish, but everyone understands that starters, it's hard to stay healthy all year. It's hard to make 32 starts. It's hard to then parlay that into the postseason and count. Plus the inning restrictions you potentially have with the Kings and the Waldrons. I've said this for weeks, Jim. I'm just adding. You can't have too much starting pitching, and it's true. If they get Darvish and Musgrove back, great. They still can use Nick Martinez in that hypothetical.
Yeah, all I know is you cannot go through the rest of this year, and we both agree on this, with Adam Major making starts for you down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it. You have a really, really good 1-2-3. Cease, King, and Waldron. That's really good. Burrito, serviceable. Can get the job done more often than not.
You mean Vasquez?
Sorry, Vasquez. Did I say Burrito?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Burrito gets traded too. I don't know. But
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, but Vasquez, and what I meant is he's giving you kind of what you ask for out of a fifth starter. Like he can go through stretches where he gives you really solid outings, and then he'll have a game like yesterday versus the Orioles where he gets lit up in a couple innings.
I agree.
It happens. But you're going to need more than that. And if this team's going to rely on Joe and then just stick Joe back in the rotation because you couldn't go out and you couldn't get another starting pitcher, that's scary. That's a scary thing to think about.
And the other thing with Joe, and again, we can all hope he's got a chance to be very beneficial for this team, but it's an if. Here's the other thing with Musgrove. He has to be built back up, even at the major leagues with rehab starts.
Right.
It's not like he's going to make rehab starts and then throw 6 innings for you his first time out.
No, he's not going 95 pitches.
No, that's
six
take,
innings.
You're looking. I mean, in an ideal world, you're a month from now, and this guy's built back up and effectively pitching for you every 5th day, and that's an ideal world. Now, again, we talked about Crochet. It doesn't sound like he's a guy that's going 6 or 7 innings for you in the second half of the season, every 5th day. So, everyone's going to have trade-offs. But with what we know about Musgrove, which is we haven't seen him since May 26th, with what we know about Darvish, which is we haven't heard from him in weeks because of a personal matter, completely understandable.
I don't think we're seeing Darvish the rest of the season.
And apparently, I think Preller checks in on Darvish every few days. Here's another thing. If they add money, Darvish isn't coming back.
Correct.
Because they're saving money on Darvish. I mean, if they add real money. Like if they go out and say, oh, wow, that guy makes $16 million this year and they added him, that probably speaks also to the fact that Darvish isn't returning this year.
Yeah. Yeah. The Darvish thing is you just hope that everything's okay with him and his family or in the personal matter that he's dealing with.
Yeah, of course.
And it's kind of, I feel like at this point with him not even throwing at all and he's away from the team and I even forget when the last time he's pitched.
I'm going to look it up. I was thinking the exact same thing right now. What would you say? Throw out a day.
June 5th.
I'll say June 11th.
Okay.
May 29th. He's 2 months to the day.
Oh boy.
No, yeah, 2 months to the day.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
And a lot like Joe. And now he was quote unquote healthy, but you'd have to build him up. Yeah. Spring training, 6 weeks.
Yeah, not happening.
And same thing with Musgrove. When I say spring training is legitimately 6 weeks to get built up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
So it's gonna be
the price tag for starting pitching is through the roof.
Through the roof. And relievers.
If you say Kikuchi is going for at your number 2 prospect in your Flaherty's going for. What do you think?
More than that.
What do you think freaking Crochet's going for?
Right. More than that.
You know? It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
It's like this new world that we're in where every team makes the playoffs. So every team's the buyer. 12 teams make the playoffs is a lot of teams.
And the only team, John, that has just said fully we're out of it, we're going full sell mode has been the Rays.
Well, the White Sox.
Well, the White Sox. But I'm talking about a team that is kind of fringe hanging around.
I think it's really smart.
Yeah.
It's like, know who you are. How many times you heard me say that? Like, don't, like, if you don't know who the fool is at the poker table, you're the fool.
Yeah.
The team that finishes 7th place in the National League, they're going to look really dumb. If it's Cincinnati, San Francisco, Arizona, San Diego.
Sometimes you don't have like a lot to sell. Some teams that are bad.
Yeah, but dude, the White Sox are historically bad.
I know. They have
a lot to sell.
They do. You're right.
You know, whether it's Pham,
Kopech,
Pham, Cease,
Crochet.
Like Tampa Bay has had a lot to sell. The Miami Marlins have had a lot to sell this year. Jazz Chisholm, Luis Arraez, those are huge pieces.
And then the Reds, how much have they had to sell? Besides Nick Martinez.
They've been like fake sellers.
Right.
You have
like fake.
Yeah.
The fringe teams.
Well, you got the teams like the Padres of 2023. They're like, we're going to just like casually buy or casually sell. We're not willing to commit one way or the other. But I stand firm on that. The team that misses the postseason in the National League by a game is going to look bad, especially if they go for it and you miss out by a game in the National League. So here's what's in tap tomorrow, by the way, on the show. David J. So David J. Mad Friars will join us in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll break down whatever the system looks like on the other side.
Yeah, it's like a preemptive, like, hey, should I come on tomorrow to talk about everybody who will be traded away? Like, yeah, let's do it.
So we'll see who's still here when David J. talks to us tomorrow at 5:30. And then everything else is full reaction. Because I remember last year at 3 p.m., the deadline is 3. But remember, Passan and Rosenthal,
goes that a little bit after.
There's 3 to 5 to 7 minor or major or somewhere in between moves that just trickle in from like 2:30 to 3:30. And with the way this deadline has been to this point, I think it's only going to increase. I think we're going to see a lot more over the next day. I think we'll see a lot more. So be here. We've got you covered tomorrow, beginning at 3 p.m. on Jon and Jim. David J. from Mad Friars will join us tomorrow at 5:30. We'll talk to a great baseball writer, Andy McCullough, on Wednesday as the Dodgers and Padres continue their series as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Dodgers are here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just that. Just Tyler Glasnow, Dylan Cease coming off a no-hitter at Petco Park.
Actually, it's that. Glasnow, Waldron, and then Kershaw, Cease on Wednesday.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Has that been changed?
No. It's always been like that.
Forever?
Yeah.
History of time?
Since the last time I checked, which was last night, unless I'm wrong.
Oh.
I think it's Waldron and Glasnow tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Kershaw and
changes
Cease.
Everything. Oh, forget it. I'm not even interested. Well, then we'll be talking something else tomorrow. No, it's Glasnow,
We're
Waldron.
talking offensive line of the
We'll
Lions.
talk Falcons.
Yeah.
Kershaw Cease.
Falcons.
All right, Jim's back page is next. Join us tomorrow. Again, trade deadline coverage right here on San Diego Sports 760 and Jon and Jim. We have more tickets to give away to Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater tomorrow as well. So, again, join us tomorrow. We have you covered deadline day 2024, and then we turn all of our attention to Padres-Dodgers. Game 1, 6:40 tomorrow. Game 2, 5:40 on Wednesday. All right, are you ready?
Are you ready?
I should probably just leave.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Dun, dun.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Are you going to go watch Deadpool Wolverine, John?
No.
As you like to say, Deadpool's and Wolverine?
Deadpool's. No.
Well,
never.
That's like my 5th grade teacher used to always call it 7 Guns N' Roses. He'd go, yeah, what's that band you guys like? BB Guns and Dandelions?
I'm not going to. No, I'm not.
Well, you're one of like a very few people that haven't seen it because it has shattered the box office, John. It is the largest R-rated global box office opening ever with $438.3 million and the 8th biggest domestic box office debut of all time, reaching over $200+ million.
How much of that has to do with the price? Because if the price today is 16 and it used to be 8, I'm making it up. Does that mean
over the last like decade plus, I don't think the price of movies have gone up that much.
Is this the equivalent of saying Tua Tagovailoa is the most paid quarterback in football, but that doesn't mean he's the best?
It depends how far back we go.
That's what I think.
You go like 1980s and early 1990s.
Yeah, if you like compare like the original Star Wars or like even Jaws, and then put inflation on it, they would have made like Jaws would have made like $1 billion.
Gotcha. And it's an R-rated movie.
So that limits their audience.
That limits it as well. But also, it's the largest R-rated movie opening box office weekend of all time, which is kind of crazy.
Well, then they should come out with another one, Deadpool and Wolverine 2.
This was Deadpool and Wolverine. This was Deadpool number 3, John.
All right, then come out with number 4.
They probably will.
If you make a lot of money, you probably will do it. Have you ever been to Japan?
By the way, remember when you tweeted about it and was ripping you? Like, you're going to Deadpool and Wolverine like during the first inning of a Padres game?
Yes.
And like everyone like ripped you.
I
like,
don't.
All day long.
That's great. It was a Saturday that I wanted to go out and watch the movie. Me and Aaron went to watch the movie.
Sad. Pathetic.
The way you deliver that was...
It's not like you went and watched the Avatar at halftime of a 49ers playoff game.
Super Bowl.
NFC title game.
John. NFC title.
Whatever.
All right. What did you ask me? Have I been to Japan?
No. Yeah.
Yes, that's what you asked me.
Yeah.
And no, I've never been to Japan.
I don't think you're welcome there.
Oh, true.
That's right. They hate you there.
Yeah.
Because you bashed.
Where do they? Okay, hold on real quick. Which person is hated more in this location? Me for what I said about Ohtani, or you in San Diego for going to see Deadpool and Wolverine during Game 2 of a Padres-Orioles series?
John, you had thousands and thousands of people.
True, you just had Ben Fadden.
Right.
Probably you, but they were nicer about it than people
they
were
were so
about
nice.
Jim's
But like
movie.
the American sportscaster seems to think that Shohei Ohtani may not be as good as we think he is.
Like there could be the biggest world-breaking news of all time during a Padres game, and Ben Fadden will still tweet out like a ground out by so-and-so.
Kind of like John Rothstein, where it's like it's the Super Bowl and it's like Manhattan will play Siena to open the 2024 season.
Dude, Ben is like, Xander just popped up. You're like, what? What?
Padres are on the board. It's 16-1.
Right, yeah. Well, 7-Eleven in Japan is like considered like a delicacy like market. Like you go there, and some say that sushi at a 7-Eleven is better sushi than here in the States.
What?
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
I have had people that I've talked to go to Japan and be like, dude,
you've had people that you've talked to go to Japan
like friends,
and specifically tell you about 7-Eleven sushi?
Yeah. That's like a thing. Like
I won't call you out on that.
They sell, it's like a supermarket.
Okay.
Instead of just like go there and buy a piece of candy and a soda.
All right. So where are you going with this?
Well, in a statement, 7-Eleven told partners that it's in Japan that they are trying to introduce and bring food that they sell in Japan 7-Elevens to the States.
Sushi here potentially.
Not quite, but couple items that they are trying to and most likely will introduce to 7-Eleven stores nationwide will be chicken teriyaki rice balls, miso ramen, and sweet chili crisp wings to the U.S. customers.
Okay.
It says that we are constantly evolving the fresh food assortment in our stores, tailoring the offerings at each location to meet the needs and preferences of local customers. Basically, what they're trying to say is they want to add more like food to make it almost like a market type of feel, as instead of just go there and buy some candy and some, what is this music?
Sound random.
Wait, so are we
For
are
the
we
rest
done?
of our lives.
Oh my god!
The other days our break was much later.
We're at 56.
Yeah, we used to be. The last week we were still 56. Now
We still have music to talk over.
all right. Well, this is great. What else you have? Deadpool, Wolverine. Oh, and by the way, Doctor Dead is coming next year or something.
McDonald's is going to debut their new, larger, big arch burger. You can only get it at a certain place. As
Music's off.
listen to this. It's the new burger. It's 2 patties, 3 layers of white cheddar melted cheese, a new special tangy sauce, crispy onions, Brent's out, silvered onions, Brent's totally out, lettuce, Brent hates it, and pickles on a brioche bun with multicolored seeds.
They should just go out of business.
The burger intends to be a quintessential McDonald's burger with a twist on our iconic familiar flavors. The Big Arch Burger is being tested in 3 international markets, 2 of which are already known. Since late June, the burger was available for a lucky patron in Canadian stores in Alberta, Canada.
Oh, Alberta, Canada.
Canada.
But the Big Arch meal includes French fries and a drink, rings up to $13 in Canada or $9 statewide or stateside, according to reports. Stupid. I hate you.
And Robert Downey Jr. is in the next Star Wars.
Play the music. Robert Downey Jr. is in the next Avengers movie playing a variant of Dr. Doom. Moron.
Not Robert Downey.
Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom, a variant of Dr. Doom.
If you missed anything today, Jesse Rogers, ESPN, you can find it on the iHeartRadio app or iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, or sportsfc.com. Find us on social media at Jon Jim, JONANDJIM. We're back tomorrow, trade deadline edition of Jon and Jim at 3 p.m. For Brent and Jim and Robert Downey Jr., I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego. Okay.